Greetings, travelers. Welcome to another edition of Travel Talk with Paul and Ed. I'm Ed Gates, and with me, as always, is Paul Gamber.
Good to be here, sir. Happy Tuesday to you.
Happy Tuesday to you. Today, we're talking about how do you travel? And we're going to talk about, there's a big debate about the different kinds of traveling. Do you like to go do a lot of sightseeing when you travel? Or you're the kind of person that kind of just wants to get away and relax, so we're going to discuss that a little bit today. Paul, what are your thoughts on some of these items?
Well, we have talked a lot off camera over the years about this, me and you and our wives involved in this ongoing debate as well. And when we started talking about doing this as a show, I was like, I wonder if there was any studies that anybody did about this, because everyone obviously has their opinion and their 2 cents. So I wanted to see if anyone had put a study in motion, and they have, which is kind of fascinating. And I wanted to share some of those statistics before we chat about that, if that's all right.
Oh yeah, by all means.
Yeah, so I found this study, and this is fascinating to me. It's from a company, a group called Growth from Knowledge. And this actually polled 22,000 different travelers from across 17 countries. So overall, this breaks down a few key metrics, but the first one is what percentage of people prefer a vacation where they get to relax and take it easy versus a vacation where they're active and they're go, go, go and they're sightseeing. So I ask you, what do you think the percentage is for people who like a relaxing versus active, like which is higher overall across the world? I want your guess on that.
Well, I would actually think it's 50-50.
50-50. Yeah, that's a pretty good assumption, and it's kind of where I was too. So as it turns out, the overall number across the world is 59% prefer a more relaxing vacation, and only 35% prefer an active vacation. And then there's that 6% that's like, we don't know what we prefer. And actually, I make fun of that 6%, but sometimes I might be part of that 6%.
Well, I was going to say, Paul, I think I was going to lean to both, and there's a big asterisk if you have to ask me that question on it depends, and I think we'll get into that. So let's hear some more about the study.
Absolutely. Well, just, it was interesting, just a few highlights. The U.S. is pretty high up on the preferred the relaxation as, or maybe middle ground, a little on the, above. They're below the world average, but still on the higher side of some countries. It was 54% preferred a relaxing vacation to 38% prefer a go, go, go. So it's sort of on average with the world. There were some countries like Brazil, for instance, where 71% of people want to relax as opposed to 26% of people who want to have a more active vacation. They're kind of like Japan is up there too. 66% want to relax, 28% want to have active. And then some of the European countries are more, Spain was more closer to 50-50, and some of those guys. So it really just depends on where you're at. Some of the more active countries included Russia, Spain. Some of those guys preferred a more active vacation. The most fascinating thing to me about the study, though, was that it was kind of on a curve. So from the younger participants, obviously, it stands to reason a lot of the younger participants like a more active go, go, go vacation. And that peaks in the 40s demographic, which we are both in. And at that point, it actually becomes in your 40s preferred a more relaxing vacation. But then the curve goes back down, and 50s, 60s, and beyond prefer a more active vacation. So we're kind of at the peak of that curve in our 40s, and most people our age actually prefer relaxation. And it's interesting, it actually kind of echoes where I've been in my life, and where Steph and I have both been, where we may be bending more that direction now, which is why we've gotten a bit more into cruising and less into like everyday plan to the T itinerary of sightseeing that we would have done in the past. So it's very interesting. I found it fascinating, and I was glad that they did a study on this, because I know everyone has pretty clear and strong opinions on this matter.
I'd be surprised to hear from some of our viewers on what they think too. I would actually think that a lot more people were situational with it than diehard. I've only met a few people who are just diehard loungers all the time. They're usually the kind of people that go to the same place, someplace in Florida or something like that, where they relax and they've got their spot, or maybe they're the ones who get the timeshare and to just take the week and go and get away, and that's what they do, and that's their vacation. They're not into the whole sightseeing thing, but there's a maybe this is just because it's me. I think there's more people like me, and it's every day of my life that becomes less and less apparent. uh, but I really I know that I have the heart of a world of somebody who wants to do all kinds of sightseeing. Um, but I have noticed since my late 30s, when I actually started doing more traveling, that every time I do a vacation like that, that's just jam packed with tons of sightseeing and tours and everything, I'm rewarded with absorbing all of that amazing information, but then I'm exhausted
Of
after
course.
that. I'm
Absolutely.
exhausted after taking a trip like that, and I need a couple days, at least a day, to decompress.
You need a
And
vacation from your vacation.
yeah, and just about every time every major location I've gone to, I want to go back to that place and just relax. At least I was like that with Hawaii. Some of the tropical locations I went to were all I was just like this. Some of the places on cruise ships that we've gone to where we've done excursions, and then we just go, and we really don't have a chance to stop and relax. But that's one of the reasons I like cruising, is because you
Well,
do
it
get
gives
the
you a taste of both, really.
yeah, exactly. But like another example though is I went to Washington D.C., and that's a place you go to just really to sightsee. You don't
Yeah,
really want to go to D.C. and just chill, right?
exactly.
Or Paris is another one I'm thinking of. Maybe I'd be take quite a few visits for me to Paris before I'm at the point where I want to say, okay, I want to go to Paris and relax. You know what I mean? So it could be a lot of different situations depending on where you're going.
For
That's
me, it's
why
definitely destination oriented because, places like that, I just can't help myself. I'm on a packet full of an active itinerary of sightseeing. In terms of relaxation, unless it's just somewhere I've never been, like history rich, I don't really care. If I'm going, I can relax anywhere. So, it's I don't necessarily have to mix them both on the same trip, although that's nice. We've gotten to where we're maybe do one trip one time and another type of trip another time. Um, but yeah, I'm with you. It really, it's tough. I've
mm,
definitely, both of us have definitely leaned more towards the active traveler in the past, but it is exhausting to come home from that kind of trip and to dive right back in. Even some of the earliest videos, we talked about that. We talked about allowing space for yourself when you get home from a
exactly.
trip, and that's important to do. So I think a lot of people, it's going to be interesting to see how this travel low point for us in the time of pandemic as we come out of it in the coming months, the coming years, how that's going to change people's travel style. And I think it will. I think there's going to be maybe a push towards more active travel, a push towards more bucket list kind of trips that people really want to get in. That's my opinion. What do you think about
Well, I'll tell you what, just personally, I have my spots that I like to go and relax at. Sometimes it's Prescott, Arizona, maybe out to the desert for a weekend, or a cabin in the woods kind of thing. And sometimes you just need a getaway like that too. And so a lot of times, and it's so funny that your study says 40s. Um, are kind of the age that you do that, because I've been feeling it for the last few years. My first thought when I think of vacation is, oh, I mean, I can just relax, someplace I
that?
can go, just check out. So if you were to ask me, uh, hey Ed, where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do with your vacation time this year? It's like, okay, I have to plan whether or not I want to do a, a sightseeing tour versus just a place to go and relax. And a lot of times, lately, if you were asking me today, I'm yielding to relaxing, even with COVID going on and
Well, I
everything.
think some other people would be with you too that have been, especially obviously as a travel agent, it's been a little slow for us, but for those people who are, essential workers and have been working their took us off during this, they are definitely going to be ready to relax. So you're exactly right.
Hmm. But at the same time, I've got quite a list of places that I got started in my travel career late in my life, and I'm hoping to ride that downward curve that you're talking about in my 50s and 60s,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and do some of those more sightseeing type tours, especially when I get closer to retirement and or in post retirement and have the time to do something like that.
Absolutely.
Of
Well,
course, as you know, in real estate and travel agency, we don't ever really retire, do we?
we're never going to, we'll never
We're going to retire into doing this.
well, I think we are just as confused as when we started. So I definitely want to hear from folks on our YouTube and in our Facebook group. This is a great topic to hear what you think because I'd love to sort of do our own informal study. So please chime in on this.
Yes, absolutely. If you're watching on our VIP Facebook group, go ahead and comment. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to comment there, but click the link in the YouTube and join our VIP travel group on Facebook, where we have a lot more content and a lot of special deals daily. And it's a lot of fun. So join us there.
Love to have you over there. And until next time, we'll be back with you in June. Next week is June. We'll be
June
talking
1st.
news updates because there's a lot going on, lots to talk about. So until then, be safe and be well. See you soon.
See ya.